set. All right, welcome to our press conference for the ACC Championship game. Kickoff's going to be at 8:02 at Bank of America Stadium. There'll be a press conference at 1 o'clock on Friday at Bank of America Stadium. This Sunday we will have a teleconference at some point, probably Sunday night after the basketball game, concerning our goal we're going to play. I want to thank Herb Tyler from Chick-fil-A for providing our lunch today and for all the viewers.
Okay. So glad to be here with you today and not out on the road recruiting like most everybody else. Happy to have another opportunity to play, and really excited about representing our division in the championship game for our second time here in 3 years. I think that's a great accomplishment for this football team especially, and this staff. And it's an opportunity to go compete for the Orange Bowl. That's really what it comes down to, which is the Super Bowl of our conference. And so it's a four-quarter game, and we're 4 quarters away from having an opportunity to achieve a great goal. So that's what it's all about. The regular season is obviously over, and we certainly do not have a good finish, and not the finish that we hoped for. But big picture wise, at the end of the day, we're 9-3 football team, and second best record in this conference, and the team with the best record we beat, and have an opportunity to play again for the title. I think we've had great improvement as a team, big picture wise. Obviously, we struggled the last few ball games, but big picture, to be where we are and to earn the right to go play for the championship, I'm really proud of that for our team. And you play all year long for postseason. That's really what it's. Everybody wants playoff football. Is there a problem?
Time out. Thank you.
Let me turn your microphone on.
Where is it? Right here? Where is that?
Feedback.
Okay.
You gotta shut down the audience.
Now you can hear me? I don't have to start over, do I? Okay. All right. Well, good. Y'all get the drift. But you play. It's playoff football is every game in college. I mean, that's one of the things I think is great about the college football season is every week there's just so much riding every single week, and it's really a playoff every game, and everybody plays all year long to try to jockey and position themselves for the postseason, and you get what you earn throughout the regular season, and that's the end of the day. That's where we are, and nobody really cares what your record is when you have a chance to play for a championship. It's like in the NFL. I mean, nobody says, well, we were 13-3. Well, we were only 9-7. It doesn't matter. The Packers last year, I believe they were a wild card. Somebody played great and got a bye and didn't win it. But I think the Packers were a wild card. And I don't know, what were they, 10-6 or whatever it was, 11-5. I don't know what they were, but I'm sure they weren't sitting around talking about the games they lost. They were talking about the game that they're going to play. And in competition, that's what it's about. It's always about the next game or the next season. Just that simple. And, because if you worry about all that other stuff, you get beat. Whether it's, hey, we've had all this success, we're getting a bye, we're supposed to win it, or man, we've struggled getting into the playoffs, and that doesn't mean anything. It's about the next game in competition, and that's what it's about for us this week. It's about these 4 quarters, and looking at Virginia Tech, they're obviously a very good football team. They've gotten better as the year has gone on, and I think that's a credit to the culture that they have there with Coach Beamer. I mean, that staff, those guys have been together a long time. They've been through a lot together. There's just a culture in place that has been developed over time. They lose a ball game, they just no big deal. We go back to work, and they just kind of find ways to win. And I think that's what you want in your program, that's what they've developed there, over time. They do what they do. Not a lot of surprises. Again, it's kind of like the NFL. You play each other. Some of these teams play each other, and then they got to play each other again in the playoffs. It's about execution. It's about fundamentals. It's about technique. Because at that point you've played, 12 ball games or whatever it is. You are who you are. For them offensively, 4 is special. I mean, he's a great back. A great back, averages 6-point-something yards a carry. Their quarterback is really been a difference maker for them down the stretch. He's much improved. Since our game, he's thrown 14 touchdowns and only 4 interceptions. And I think going into our game, he had thrown 4 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. So he's really played well for them, and he's been very effective in the running game, and has thrown the ball very accurately. So he's a really good player, and they do a good job. Their receivers. The receivers don't get enough credit at Virginia Tech, I don't think. Those guys all show up and play. I mean, 19. He's started a million games up there, and 81 and 18. Those guys, they do a good job. They're playing up front. They got everybody healthy, and defensively, I think they've done a great job because they lost 3 starters since our game, and they've done a good job filling in with those guys and finding ways to win. They don't make a lot of mistakes. They do what they do, and they don't change a whole lot. Biggest thing, just looking at them since our game, is they've been a little bit more of a pressure team as of late. They've brought more pressure than they were earlier in the year, and that's probably just a matter of their confidence in their guys as they've gone through the season. But again, it's all about execution and fundamentals and techniques, and that's what it'll be about in any championship game. That's what it comes down to, because you got to perform on the big stage. And with that, I'll take whatever questions you got.
Coach, when you get ready for this game, is it more that you're looking at the last couple games of the mistakes of what you have to correct, or maybe even going back and looking at the Virginia Tech film and seeing what you did right to prepare for this week?
Oh, well, you're certainly going to study, the game that you played against them, because there's no greater teacher than, actual video of your guys playing their guys, so that's the best teacher that you can have, how they defended you, and what was good, what was bad. So yeah, that's definitely what you do. But I think you're always evaluating, and we know what our issues are. We know where we're struggling. We know what we got to improve upon. And I think after any regular season, you look at the lessons that you've learned and you try to apply them to postseason. And then when postseason's over, you look at the whole deal and you learn the lessons and you apply it to the off season and you try to get better. I mean, that's what it's all about. And we learned a lot of lessons from this season. There's no question. I think we did a poor job of handling success. And it's interesting. I stood here before our team on August the 4th, and actually I told our staff too on our opening day of meetings. I told the team that I was very proud of them for how they had handled adversity last season and in the off season. I was very proud of them. But I also told the team that night, August 4th, I said, here's the bigger challenge. The bigger challenge for you guys, because I'm telling you right now, it's coming. The bigger challenge for you is going to be handling success. And I think we did a poor job of that. And you can tell them, you can say it, whatever you want. I think it's one of those things that you have to experience. And we're going to be 8-0 again. We're going to be 9-0. We're going to be there again. And hopefully these are lessons that will apply later on down the road. But we did a poor job of that. You're 8-0, you're top 5, everybody's talking about you and this and that, and next thing you know, you're not quite as focused, you're not quite as hungry, not quite as humble. You don't quite prepare quite as much. and you know, you lose a ball game, then, you know, people were talking this and that, and that's the nature of the beast. And you know, I wish that it was an easier process to go through, but I don't think we did a good job of that. I think that these guys understand and have learned that there's a difference in the will to win and hope to win. There's a difference. There's a difference there, and you know, you have to play with the will to win. You know, not hope to win. You got to prepare with the will to win, and I think that's a valuable lesson for our football team, and you know, and you got to be responsible, dependable, and accountable every day, coaches and players, every day, and those are great lessons that I think that we've learned from this regular season, and we got to apply it to the postseason, and if we do that, then I think we have a chance to have a great postseason here, and then we'll evaluate and try to get better as we move forward. But, you know, I know what reality is. I live in reality, not in fantasy land, in perception and craziness. But I'm very proud of our team. We've accomplished more this year than has been accomplished at Clemson in 20 years, and that's a fact. I'm certainly not happy with how we finished. And that's my job to get us better and to correct that, and we'll do that. But you know, I do have to look at where we were and where we've come, and I think we've probably made as good of improvement from a program standpoint from one year to the next as anybody out in the country. And you know, there's a lot to be said for that. You know, especially playing 29 freshmen, which I think is the most of anybody. Maybe Indiana, I think, played the same. Got a lot of guys back, and interesting. I had last night after practice. I asked everybody that played in that championship game to stand up, and in my mind, I don't know why, I was thinking there was more, but there wasn't many guys. There wasn't many guys at all. 18 or 19 guys, and you can't count Dawson Zimmerman because he didn't punt, and I hope he don't punt again. I hope he don't play in this one, but. You know, and I looked at it, and I was like, you know what, boy, you guys are lucky because you're getting another opportunity to play for a championship, because that's what competition's all about, playing for a championship, and they're getting another opportunity. But all of these other guys, you know, are learning and growing, and you know, through the good and the bad, and this is going to be a great week for them, a great experience, and hopefully a great stepping stone for the program as a whole.
What were those lessons? You said there were lessons we need to learn from doing a poor job of handling success. What were the lessons you learned about your part of that?
Well, you know, I think that, again, you know, that you can talk about it. You know, maybe I could have done a better job of and again, that's things that I'll evaluate as I get in the off season. What could I have done a better job of? And because, to be honest with you, I recognized it, and I recognized a little bit of a change in focus of some guys. And you confront them, and you call them in, and you talk to them, and you this and you that, and you know. But again, it's like raising kids. You know, I mean, as an adult and as a parent, you can see things sometimes, but it's sometimes you got to learn things on your own, and it's a painful process. And you know, I'm certain there's things that we can all do better, and that's part of the overall evaluation process. But you know, we all can do a better job of handling success. And again, we'll get another opportunity. We're gonna get several more opportunities.
We spoke about improving execution and fundamentals and that sort of thing. Any thought to allowing more contact and practice more line tackling, that sort of thing?
Well, I mean, you know, we go pretty hard in practice, but you know, we hit and we go good on good probably as much as anybody in the country on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And you know, it's I don't know how much you could change that. There's a lot of teams out there that don't ever tackle. Alabama, you know, they don't tackle ever. They never go to the ground. You know, but You know, there's just a lot of it is you know, our mistakes are more, you know, I think commitment and preparation. And some of that's youth, just not really getting it, just thinking that, okay, you know, I got this, and then all of a sudden you get in the heat of the moment and you don't. And that's all part of the process of growing up as a player, and that's at every position. But there's you know, I think that we practice very well, and but sometimes that practice doesn't quite translate into the performance that you want. And you have to give the other team credit too. You know, you have to sometimes you just get whipped. But we don't have an ability problem right now. We've got, as I said, we got a little bit of a responsibility problem, dependability, accountability, and that's what we have to improve upon. And that's one of the great lessons that I think we'll learn from this season. And you know, as we move forward.
How do you deal with a lot of these young guys that are making the mistakes, making sure they understand what they're doing, but not hurting their confidence along the way, making sure that they still believe that they can do the right things, even though the last 3 or 4 chances they've had, they didn't do so?
Well, that's one of the things I did yesterday. I just brought the whole team in here, and I don't know, we probably had a 2.5-hour team meeting. And I went through the whole defense, the offense, the special teams, because I wanted everybody to understand, you know, because people say this, they say that, they don't have a clue. I want everybody that matters to truly understand. Let's all in here be on the same page, you know, coaches, players, because I think sometimes you have to, again, create a little bit of that accountability and encouragement from within the room. And, you know, so that they can truly see, and then you tell them you love them, and you keep it within the family, and, you know, you move on. And then you encourage them when they do good. But I wish guys didn't make mistakes. I wish we were 12-0, and we're working hard to get there. You know, I want to get that 3rd undefeated season in Clemson history. That's a goal of mine. And we had our opportunities this year. And came up short in the regular season. But the season's not over. You know, we're playing for a title this week, and we're proud of that. We earned it, and we earned it the hard way. This was a difficult schedule, and a lot of changes on the staff and systems and all that. We lined up and earned it. Did we play great every week? No. Probably overachieved in some areas, underachieved in some areas. But at the end of the day, you know, it was a good season. First time we've won all of our home games in 21 years, and on and on and on. I mean, there's so many things that happen for the first time ever, or the first time in 20 years, or 25 years, or 15 years, or whatever, and also had some bad. And you have to take all of that, the good and the bad. But I think, you know, you just coach them every day. You just keep coaching them every day. You know, encourage them. You show them the film, and then you go out and you practice, and you try to get better this week. It's about the next game. That's what it's about.
Talking with Urban Meyer when he was doing one of the games here, he was really impressed by the offense and by Chad's, you know, direction of it and all. And now the rumors are flying that he's interested in talking to Chad about Ohio State. Have you, number one, heard the rumors? Have you talked to Chad about it? Anything you can?
You guys are unbelievable. No, I've heard no rumors. I don't, you know, and nobody's called me. I wouldn't be surprised because he's a great coach. And I've had calls from other people, about 5, but not Ohio State. Chad Morris is a great coach. We're lucky to have him. And, you know, we got great things in front of us. But, you know, Chad's committed to Clemson, and he loves it here. I don't see him leaving for any place until it's his opportunity to be a BCS head coach.
Just to be clear, other calls about Chad or other calls about other?
Chad.
Okay.
Yep.
Coach, Saturday you were talking lowest to lows. You said that Saturday after
Yeah.
the game. It's 3 days later right now. I don't want to say players are fragile, but is there a confidence issue that you're really trying to work on with this team?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think, anytime you're dealing with young people, things don't go the way you wanted or planned. Sometimes you lose your confidence, and guys get in slumps or whatever, and it's no different than anybody else in life. We all go through slumps from time to time as a player if you've competed, and you got to be a fighter. You got to keep believing in yourself. You got to go back to the basics. It's all about the basics, the fundamentals, the preparation, and then you got to get back in the batter's box. You can't get out of the slump if you don't swing the bat. You can't get out of the slump if you don't take the next shot. You just got to keep picking them up and putting them down. Don't be a quitter. Lord, we got enough quitters in this world. Makes me want to vomit, man. We got more quitters and losers out there in this world. It's one of the biggest problems in America. People just quit. I mean, it's when it gets a little tough or things don't go their way. Everybody wants to quit and go home, take their ball with them. I wasn't raised that way. I don't think that way. And so that's how I try to coach my players, is to, you keep going. Hey, you're going to make the next one. You're going to make that next tackle. You're going to make the right call the next time, or the right throw, or the right read on the run, or whatever it is. That's just the way it's got to be. I mean, what's the other option? Quit? You got to be kidding me. There ain't no quit. It's a bunker mentality. You either for us or you against us. And that's how I try to tell my players, listen, don't worry about anything else. You should be confident, and here's why. Because God gave you a talent, all right? And it's your job to use it for the good. And don't sit around and think all of a sudden now you're not good at something because you had a bad day or a bad game or whatever. That's baloney. You're here because you're a good player, and you're going to continue to be a good player. So, but certainly you got some guys that are, frustrated, but you got to let it go. You got to let that go. You got to cut that baggage loose. I mean, cut it loose. And then you got to go to play the next game and get excited about the next opportunity. I love that song. What was the Toby Keith song? I love that song. And that's what I even told the guys, listen, hey, we may not be playing as good as we once did, but we only got to play as good once as we ever did. Heck with all that. It's about 4 quarters Saturday night. Let's play. Just because we were 8-0, that didn't mean all of a sudden we go to 9-0. It's always about the next game. And just because you've lost a couple in a row, that don't mean you lose the next one. Forget all that stuff. And that's part of the learning process. When you're winning or you lose, you got to move on. And you got to learn from it, and you got to stay confident, and you got to prepare the right way. So otherwise, you sit around and, Lord, you listen to this and that, and I mean, you're paralyzed. You can't even play, and you got to cut all that stuff loose and go let it all hang out. And just do the best you can do. Nobody can ask more of you than the best. Now, if you're not doing your best, and we got a few guys not quite doing their best, they're not quite to the standard that we need them to be. Then hey, we got to get that corrected.
Guys that take the mentality of, we beat them on their home turf by 20. Last time we played them, we're going to just go out there and be able to do the same thing again, because these are two teams playing totally different football.
No, I don't worry about that. We got a ton of respect for our opponent, and our guys know how hard it is to win. It's always a game of a few plays. That game is completely irrelevant to this game. I mean, it really is. It just really doesn't matter. I mean, it matters in that you can see how you played physically against an opponent and how you matched up and all that regard. But, the ball bounces different ways on different nights, and it doesn't have anything to do with the outcome of this game Saturday.
I heard from Coach and two of your key players yesterday, a lot about momentum and how it can change the game, and looking for a spark and all that kind of thing. And it just sounded as if there was some ethereal thing about it. It was magic. And it doesn't make sense to me, because I would think that if you prepared well, if you practice well, as you all contend you have practiced well, that you make your momentum, that it just doesn't happen.
Oh, yeah. You got it, yeah, certainly.
And so I begin to wonder, where's the disconnect? Where is the disconnect?
We're just not making some of the plays that are there, and we're not executing some of the things that are there, and it piles up. It piles up, and then next thing you know, you're pressing and you're doing. You get out of the your system, and then it kind of feeds throughout the whole team. I mean, you have to make the plays that are there, and for the most biggest part of the year, we've done that. And then all of a sudden you create the momentum. And momentum is powerful. It is powerful. It's a powerful thing in anything. Momentum is powerful. In business, it's powerful. In athletics, it is a powerful thing. And, when you get those opportunities to create a spark, you have to make them. And when you get it lit, then all of a sudden gasoline starts getting thrown on it, and we just have not done a good job of creating those opportunities, and making them when they've been there. We missed a few the other night. I mean, we missed a few. Even as bad as we played, we got 14:45 to go in the fourth quarter. We got a chance to cut it to a touchdown game, and we just completely miss a signal. And it's a touchdown. I mean, it is a walk-in touchdown, and we just miss a signal. And also, so those are opportunities, but and so you don't execute it. Well, then it's the opposite effect, and we just got too much of that right now.
And it seems to be compatible in the discussion with handling success. It would seem then that some people who you thought were going to do a better job within the team of leading you, maybe let you down?
No, our leadership's been really good. Our leadership's been excellent all year. All year. We've got some guys playing really good football right now. But again, we just got too many mistakes. And, that's our job. Our leadership's done a good job. They really have.
Without the momentum of the victories, how do you create momentum going into Saturday?
How do we create momentum? We just got to practice and focus on our plan, and you create momentum by taking ownership in the plan and knowing that you know it. Guys got to work. They got to study and work outside of when we can have them. We got them 17 hours, and especially when you're a young player, it takes a little bit more of a commitment than that at this level, especially when you're playing in this type of ball game. So, just taking ownership. It's just, we've all been in school. You walk in to take it. We've all had those tests where you know that you know it, and you walk in there and you just bring it on, and you just and you turn it in, and And we've also all had those tests where maybe we didn't quite study all the material quite as well as we should have. Maybe it's on 5 chapters where you roll the dice and study 4. I probably won't ask a question because it's going to be only 7 questions. And the first thing you do, you get in there and you look at the test. Oh, geez, I didn't study that part. You weren't quite as prepared. You cut a corner here or there, and it'll get you. And so we just got to take ownership in our preparation. Everybody's got to own the plan and know that they know it, and then we got to go execute it on Saturday night. And so to me, that's how you create the momentum. By practicing well, by planning well, by preparing well, and then going and just playing well in the game.
Do you have any idea how much things have been simplified on defense just through the course of the year?
Yeah. I don't know how much simpler we can get right now. Very, very simple. Very, very simple.
Your receivers have been making huge plays all season. Saturday night, obviously, they didn't. I mean, some of the same guys. As you look back at the film, kind of go through that. What did you see?
A lot of missed opportunities, drops. just a rough night.
Everybody kind of knew that
We
South
wouldn't
Carolina was.
we wouldn't be playing this Saturday night without those guys. They've had a lot of great nights, but Saturday night was not a good one.
Just saying, one thing that you can probably say for sure is that Bud Foster's going to bring a lot of pressure after
Yeah.
watching the past few weeks game film. How do you practice for that, and is that your biggest offensive concern, or would it be Taj's confidence, or do those two go hand in hand?
Just executing. You know, everybody, just 11 guys doing their job to the best of their ability. That's all I'm looking for. We're not going to see anything we're not prepared for. You know, and yeah, they'll bring pressure. We see pressure all the time. But it's just 11 guys. Just if a guy gets physically beat or something, I can live with that. But when you don't have 11 guys pulling the rope in the same direction, it ain't working. And that's the biggest thing with me. Let's have 11 guys do their job, or at least attempt to do their job the right way, and then we got a good chance of having success.
Coach, there was a story in the Washington Post that Coach Beamer's using the video of you presenting the tombstone of the Virginia Tech victory as a motivational tool for his players. Your thoughts of that, and also, do you use any kind of motivational tool maybe for your players?
Absolutely. I mean, I don't blame him. I do the same thing. I mean, that's just part of the game. You know, they have a toolbox, and they take the grass and stick it in the toolbox from wherever they are. So, I'm sure next year when they play Georgia Tech, Coach Johnson will probably show that video. You know, that's just part of the game.
To be fair, if in August we were talking about you being 9-3 at the end of the regular season and playing for the ACC Championship, there would probably have been some people that called us, we experts, idiots. I mean, if you take it in balance.
Yeah, big picture, I mean, like I said, I mean, you never want to lose a game. I want to win them all. I plan to win them all. When I take the schedule, I go W, 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 W. That's just how I think, you know. And I've only been on one perfect team ever. And I hope to be on another one of these days. But you just keep competing, and you battle, and you play all season, and like I said, you jockey for the best possible postseason that you can get. And the more you win in postseason, the better it is. So, you know, that's the opportunity we have. But, you know, to be where we are right now, and handedly won it. I mean, we won it. I think it's the earliest. I mean, we clinched before any other BCS team. You know, I think we've had a good year, and a very difficult schedule. And I think combination of a lot of things. We you know, fatigue, and played a lot of guys, a lot of snaps. You know, depth has certainly been an issue for us. You know, a couple injuries here or there, but that's just football. And a little lost focus, not handling success quite as well as we could have, and hope to the next time we get in that situation. But all in all, it's been a good year. And anybody that doesn't think it's a good year, they're off their rocker. It's been a great year. You know, as far as from where we were last year, and hopefully if we can win Saturday, it hasn't been a great year. It's been a good year. It could be a great year if we can take care of business Saturday night and finish this thing with 10 wins and an ACC championship and go to the Orange Bowl. That would be a great year from where we were last year. But that's yet to be determined. You know, but regardless of what happens, I'm proud of the team and the staff, and you know, I'm very excited about where we move forward.
You talked about Logan Thomas's improvement. Have you seen him improve as a runner as well as he's gotten healthier, and how much of a concern is that given what happened the last couple weeks?
I saw him run a quarterback sneak for like 14 yards. You know, yeah, he's a big concern. He's running with confidence. They run the quarterback power. They do some good things when they involve him. He's their second leading rusher. I mean, he's a weapon. There's no doubt about that.
The Orange Bowl shirt, kind of a not so subliminal messaging.
Well, the one thing about the Orange Bowl shirt is they only make them in short sleeve. So, you know, that's they don't make long sleeve Orange Bowl shirts. So I'm hoping that Tim Beret he inspired me yesterday because he had his 1981 Clemson jacket on, and it was definitely 1981 vintage. So he inspired me to wear my Orange Bowl shirt. I actually have another one. I'm gonna wear it tomorrow. So nothing wrong with that.
Anybody got anything else?